For those of you too young to know who I am, name's Charles Bronson. You might have seen me in a movie or two, but before all that, I was a soldier, not the kind who sits behind a desk. I fought in World War II. Front lines, Air Force, bombing runs over enemy territory. Earned a Purple Heart. Didn't ask for it, didn't want it. Just did the job and made it home. Barely. So when I talk about war, I'm not quoting a headline. I lived it, smelled it, watched men disappear right next to me. This story you're about to hear, it ain't a movie script. It's a real story about peace, about men who've seen too much, finally trying to stop the bleeding. So listen close. This one matters. Wasn't much fanfare, not the kind you see in the movies. No parades, no cheering crowds. Just a room, some expensive pens, and a few men who've spent most of their lives surrounded by gods and the constant threat of war. These are men who sleep with one eye open, who check their cars for bombs. Men who know the weight of a coffin. But today, they sat at the same table, breathing the same air. They signed something bigger than themselves, something their fathers and grandfathers only dreamed of. Peace. Or at least the start of it. A ceasefire written in ink, hoping it won't be washed away by blood. Trump was there. For a man who loves a spectacle, he was quiet. Not pacing, not barking orders, just sitting, watching, waiting. He looked like a man who had bet everything on a single hand of poker. He called it the biggest deal of all time. The granddaddy of them all. Could be. 3,000 years of blood, of hate, of revenge, passed down from father to son like a cursed inheritance. A cycle of violence that swallowed generations. And now, a few pages of paper meant to stop all that. A dam built to hold back an ocean of rage. Maybe he's right. Maybe this is the one. Look who was in that room. Hamas, Israel, Egypt, Turkey, Erdogan, Sisi. Names that have been on opposite sides of kill orders. Men who have sent each other's soldiers home in boxes. They all showed up. They didn't have to. Any one of them could have walked away, played the tough guy for their people back home. But they didn't. They came. That tells me something. It tells me they're tired. Tired of digging graves. Tired of reading casualty reports. Tired of seeing their children's faces plastered on posters and bombed out streets. Even the hardest men get tired of war. Ever seen a city after it's been flattened by a bomb? I have. More times than I care to remember. And let me tell you something. It don't matter who dropped it. It don't matter what flag they fly. It smells the same. Burned concrete. The sweet, sick smell of blood. Smoke so thick it chokes the sun out of the sky. The silence after the screaming stops. That's the real cost of war. It's a smell that gets in your clothes, in your soul, and it never washes out. That's what this deal's trying to avoid. Another city that smells like that. I'm not a fool. I've seen too much to be an optimist. Paper doesn't stop bullets. Signatures on a document don't erase generations of grudges. Hate is a patient thing. It can wait, it can hide, it can fester in the dark until it's strong enough to kill again. But maybe, just maybe, it slows the trigger down. For a day, a week, a year. Maybe it makes a man think twice before he gives the order. Before he sends some kid who's barely old enough to shave into a firefight he won't come home from. For those kids, that hesitation is worth everything. And Trump made a point of it. He brought out the real players. Not the smiling diplomats who talk to the press. The ones who make the calls in the dark. The Gulf billionaires who fund the armies. The presidents and the generals who command them. The men whose signatures don't appear on any treaty, but whose money and guns decide who lives and who dies. He sat them right behind him, on display, every one of them with blood on their hands, and maybe, just maybe, something left in their hearts. A flicker of something that isn't just about power or revenge. You can talk about borders and politics all day long. It's just noise. This isn't about politics anymore. It's about the little things. The things that peace allows. It's about kids being able to walk to school without their mothers worrying they might step on something that goes click. It's about a family being able to sit down for dinner without the building shaking. It's about mothers not flinching every time they hear a jet overhead, wondering if it's one of theirs or one of theirs. It's about time. Time for a generation to grow up without knowing the smell of cordite. The signing, that was the easy part. The applause, the handshakes for the cameras. Peace is easy to sign. It's damn near impossible to keep. Every hour from now on is a test. It won't be broken by a king or a president. It will be broken by one man. The first shot fired in anger. The first lie told to stir up the old hate. The first man on either side who thinks the deal doesn't apply to him, that his grievance is more important than everyone else's survival. That's when we find out what this really is. Paper or peace. They always say the Middle East is a powder keg, a place that could start World War III. Trump said it too. He might be right. The whole world is a powder keg these days. But today, maybe they pulled one of the fuses. Not today, not this week. It won't be a big, glorious war that breaks this. It'll be a small, dirty one. Started by a man with nothing left to lose. That fuse, it just got a little longer. But the clock is still ticking. I don't celebrate peace. I don't trust it. I watch it. I guard it. I wait for the crack in the wall. Because there's always a crack. Men are men. But today, I'll give them this. For one day, in one room, they looked each other in the eye and they tried. And in a world full of cowards and killers, trying is more than most men ever do. So, that's it. They signed it. But signing don't mean squat if no one holds the line. You want the truth to survive? Then you fight for it. With your voice, with your actions, your platform. So do your part. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, drop a comment, and share this with someone who still believes peace is worth protecting. This is Chris Dial, Celebrity Recreations. We don't flinch. We don't fold. We don't forget. Bronson out.